Hey, so I know this video is late, but I was moving. I made an update video. If you haven't checked that out, I'd appreciate it if you went and looked at it. Just know that I'm back, so let's jump into the video. What's poppin' everyone, it's your boy Levi, and I'm here to give you my day one experience with Haze. I know Haze has been out for almost 2 weeks now, but this is my first chance I've gotten to play her. I'm going in blind, and as always, the first couple games will be me figuring out what abilities that she has. This video will come out after the patch, however some of the games were recorded pre-patch. Haze did receive quite a few buffs during the patch, so if you see a drastic jump in my damage between games, that's why. So game 1, I queue it up, right? I haven't played Eternal Return in like 2 weeks, so I'm a little rusty. I throw on an amp build that contests tree and sem, and man, this build is fast. Typically, you're going to be done well before night 1, so you have some time to set up for it. I didn't have anyone to contest me on tree, so I picked up the easy early objective. I caught on pretty quickly, despite what you're looking at on screen, on how to take animal hunts with Haze. It's pretty weird having an AR character, but you don't really do much auto-attacking. After a bit of skirmishing, I decided on factory to finish my weapon and then dodge for alpha. In the back of my mind, I know Haze has multiple weapon combos, but maybe I should have looked on how to use them first. I took a fight with a hedge in which I now learned that Haze definitely is a melee killer and is gonna struggle with ranged matchups. It also doesn't help that I didn't figure out how to fire her ult once I pulled it out. I think you have to right click if you want the targeted pierce, and then you Q for the rocket, but I just kind of stood there and did nothing. I die for it, but at least I learned which buttons I need to press now, right? Yeah, scratch that. Definitely still need to learn some muscle memory with her for what buttons to press. I drop a kill on a barber here because I'm fumbling around with my buttons and I just don't unload the R. I end up paying for it and die to a Cathy on alpha. Gotta say, I'm pretty surprised at how often I'm getting Symmetry these games. I think it's been almost every game so far. I pick up Symmetry once again and TP in the factory to complete Black Widow. I noticed that the factory meteorite was still here, so I grabbed that for free and picked up Cabana. Starting night 1 with 2 transitions is pretty nice. Definitely feeling the damage upgrades too from the buff. Some fellow Haze were also in factory, so I did a damage check just to see how hard I was hitting. Satisfied with my damage, I TP'd to beach for alpha. I think this fight with a Sylvia was rather clean on my end. I feel like I did almost everything right, except I probably could have shot my ult out faster. She lives on 1 HP and gets away. Any other character and that's probably a killer. I get sandwiched a bit at alpha and take a fight with an Estelle. I feel like the fight went fairly well for me. I'm getting better with spell rotation. I like Haze a lot, but her E does feel a little weird when you cancel it with movement commands. I chased the Estelle with the mithril and unfortunately got third party. I managed to make a temporary escape, and then I got my revenge on the Estelle I was fighting earlier. I TP'd in the avenue to call in a mithril, but I accidentally misclicked and hit Tree of Lay, which is fine, I guess. I ended up going for Glacial Shoes, but thinking back, I probably should have went for Scotty for the sticking power. I TP'd the hospital for ice and tried to pick up a third party kill. My mind just goes blank when I press R, man. If I definitely reacted quicker, I 100% could have picked up 2 kills here. I fumbled the bag and Chiara got away. I decided on Constellation Omega and realized that Haze's objective take isn't great. It's a bit slow and you do lose quite a bit of health. I'm sure there's a better way to take it than how I did, but I ended up dying with it. I just said how I was getting Symmetry every single game, and this next game I get contested at Symmetry. Why do I jinx myself? On God, Ava is not fun to fight at all. Thank goodness she's squishy. After a few skirmishes and nearly dying, I managed to get the better of her in a fight. I picked up my kill thanks to some sharp shooting, but conceded the tree to Nikki. That Nikki wanted the smoke though and came back for the fight. With some careful kiting, I managed to take her down too. She had already turned the tree to Glacial Ice, so I decided to just go with Glacial Shoes for my upgrade. While in Avenue, I called in a tree for Black Widow and got my lighter in Alley and TP'd the hotel for my Fedorova. After, I TP'd the hospital for another Tree of Life, and third party a fight between Mai and Chiara. Once again, I panicked with the ult, and instead of using the targeted option, I went for the snipe and dropped a kill on Mai. Chiara picks up the tree and turns the tables back onto me, chasing me into Avenue. Now, have y'all ever played Celine before? If me panicking and pressing the wrong buttons on Haze has shown you anything, it's that you can understand what happened to this Celine. She definitely saw me on low health and just forgot how her character worked. I somehow managed to walk right through her on 1 HP and not die, and she even ends up saving me from the Chiara. I don't know what happened to her, but I am alive, and the poor Celine and Chiara both end up getting cleaned up by a Shoichi. My death-defying streak continued. After getting into a losing fight with a Mai, the Daniel ends up trying to third party us. I think he thought he could pick up the kill on me and then start fighting Mai immediately, but I managed to slip through a gun. I unfortunately run right into a Shoichi and die for it. Not a bad game by any means though. So I ended up changing the build a little bit. I'm still running the same augments, but now I'm going with a 4-zone build starting in factory. This build does need 3 batteries, so it's a little copium at the start, but it is still pretty fast. As far as I'm aware, you can only find 2 batteries per distribution in factory. Factory was a little contested, so I opted into just leaving a 3rd battery behind and calling it in later. If you have access to 2 distributions, definitely go for all 3. Make sure you grab an alcohol for rum raisin bread and a lighter for boiled water, and then it's on the beach. There's something about beach into uptown builds that just feel really good to me. I guess it's the pathing. If you miss a piano wire in beach, no worries, just grab it in uptown. Everything else you're going to want to grab in beach. When in uptown, grab chocolate for hot chocolate. We have spirit culling augments, so you don't need to really worry about SP too much. Hot chocolate will give you more than enough for the game. If you only manage to find 1 pen here in uptown, that's fine too. Just avoid fighting early game fights. Kill the chicken for a chance to roll a feather, and if you miss chocolate, you can grab it in archery range. Once in archery range, you should have your weapon. And because we're almost done with our build and it's still early in the day, feel free to clear out all the hunts here. The build doesn't go Tree of Life, so don't worry about early objectives. Just be careful if meteorite spawns in school night 1. You should pretty much always get 1 set of wolves, based on your timing, but most of the time you'll get both. You need 1 leather, so now's a good time to grab it. Once all the hunts are clear, continue down the school. And you're also going to clear out all the hunts in school. This is also where you grab a pen if you missed it in Uptown. I would also recommend grabbing a lighter if you find one, but it's no big deal if you don't. Make sure to clear out all the chickens behind the bus here. It gives you 4 chances to roll a feather. If you for some reason didn't roll a feather on any of these chickens, or on the Uptown chicken, I'd dip really quickly in the forest for the 2 chickens that are near the school gate. If you still don't roll it, you can try the hotel chickens, and if they still don't roll it again after that, I would just call a feather in. Since I had it on the Uptown chicken, I went straight into clearing hunts and hotel. While you're here, grab a Fedorova and an extra feather if you do get one. If your timing is good, you'll be in time for your archery hunts to come back up. I was a little early due to being very quick, and I saw that there was a meteorite spawning in red zone for school. I took it uncontested and used it to make cabana. The only other meteorite transition I would consider going is glacier crampons into iron maidens. Clear out archery again and make sure to grab a leather and a gunpowder so you can prep Black Widow. If archery is closed, I usually go cemetery for the wolves and get gunpowder there instead. Assuming you didn't have to spend a ton of credits in the early game, you should have enough to call in a Tree of Life, so head back to the hotel for the console. We do take the penny pincher augment, which helps a lot, so you should be able to grab it. Also, call in a lighter if you didn't grab one in school. A Shoichi picks a fight with me over my tree in the transfer console, but I managed to dodge his E, which allowed me to hit my abilities easier. Shoichi feels pretty bad to fight against since we're mostly skill shot. Your E will track him though if you can stay in range, which is nice. I picked up my kill and got my tree for Black Widow, and continued to clear out the respawning hunts in hotel. If you've been following along, you should have a good pace going, and you should be able to set up vision in time for Omega. Now I know you've been seeing me drop kills a lot in this video, and I promise I'm really trying to get the alt muscle memory down. Jesus Christ, man, do I fumble a lot. I took a fight with Nathapont and almost got myself killed, in what probably should have been an easy kill. In fact, I had 2 chances to kill him, and I fumbled both. I saw Rio pick up Omega, so I decided not to chase, assuming Nathapon would run into her. I was right, and I tried the 3rd party, but didn't get there quick enough. I guess Rio didn't want to take 2 fights back to back, so she let me loot Nathapon's body for free. I took the Scotty from Nathapon and was feeling pretty strong. I knew Rio would try to go for Wick, and I wasn't scared of Martina, so I shouted around it. Rio took it much quicker than I thought she would, but I finally got my snipes on, and I chased her down for the kill. All that was left was a non-broadcasted form Martina. I didn't bother with the Wick transitions this game, but the extra feather we got would have been combined with a hairband and blood for Opera Mask. And that's all it takes to get a win with Haze. She definitely feels like she's in a good spot after the buff she received last patch. I do plan on playing her a bit more. I'll have to decide between her and Chloe still for who my secondary is. Thank you so much for watching if you made it to this point. If you liked the video, leave a like and subscribe for more Eternal Return content. I'm back to full-length videos, so expect maybe another one this week. Be sure to click on the video in the end card for an update video on my current situation, and I'll see you in the next one.